Muslim, Christian, Jew, Hindu, Buddhist, and atheist one too. And all in between. This is for the absolute positive, good God and truth of you only crossing bigger and better, more positive and good. I was just watching a video on YouTube, and it was going into why certain religions or certain peoples don't eat pork, and explaining, how the meat is unclean for so many reasons and this and that, And you hear that word culture come up a lot of times in like Jewish diets, or even, a culture. We want to have a culture diet, just in the rhythmic things of the English dialogue, But really, if you think about it, what is culture? Well, when it comes to food, I believe, right? And I don't say this indirectly to what Jesus states in the Gospel of Thomas. I state it as actually confirming it, okay? Jesus said in the Gospel of Thomas, right? It's not what goes in you that matters, but what comes out of you that matters, okay? Now, back to that word culture and what I was stating about how it's used in reference to different foods and even different environment. This is culture environment, whatever, okay? But then there's another word that expresses that same word, but on a more thorough level. And I believe if we use this word, right, you will understand exactly what is good as truth to eat as far as meat, even vegetables and nuts are concerned, okay? Because they all are prescribed this way when they're not kosher. And it's gamey, okay? The word is gamey. If your meat, right, or even your fruit, right, has more of a dirt taste, right? And if you've never ate gamey meat, go get you some Carp, right? And they spell it C-A-R-P, right? But really it should be spelled C-R-A-P, because that's what gamey meat tastes like. And then reality check, right? The more gamier the meat, the more unrefined it is to the reality check of us absorbing the absolute positive good nutrients of it to the bigger and better of all we are. Meaning, no matter how intellectually sound, right, I might want to be stating to the bigger and better of all I am good as truth, right? If I just keep feeding myself a bunch of crap, right, this will never get it done. And Jesus knew this, you hear me? That's why no matter what you have to eat, only cross it one more positive, right? You can treat that meat, right? You can make it bigger and better than being gamey, so it is good for you as truth to the reality check of you, even if it is carp. Crap. Okay? Now listen, hoofed animals, well, if you have to eat a hoofed animal, right, you make sure that meat is not gamey. And the reason why is it's corrupted DNA. You understand? It's less evolved, right, to the reality of the good truth of its shape, form, mass, right? Than being the farrell taste of the earth, the farrell way of the earth. You see what I'm saying? Unevolved to the reality check of the bigger, better processing, good-ass truth of a man to only bigger and better. Meaning you could get some positive values out of these foods, but to the reality check of you, you are gambling. You hear me? And the bigger and better of you may not always, absolutely, positively, have not a faithful doubt, be there. Okay? All of all matter, creation applied one to the here and now existence of all reality check, is made of atoms, and these atoms are male and female with energy, okay? Now, the more male an atom is, right, the more good it is to the truth of its shape, form, and mass, enlightened out, indestructible at 360 degrees. What does that mean? That means anywhere creation applied one to the here and now existence of all reality check, right? That atom is stated good as long as it's stated more positive than the female negativity of it. More male with positive energy than the female negativity of it. As the love not and enlightened out good God and truth of the atom. Or it's stated female. And if it's a bonding matter, right, the electronegativity goes to a higher or a lower level state and will stop it from being able to bond more positive and good to the truth of the shape, form, mass it's expressing. Or it will do like Pistis Sophia in the mythology, and it will split. And if it splits, right, like she did, through the backfire of the negative energy, right, through the neutrons of it, it will cause a nuclear explosion. Or, in the case of Pistis Sophia, she was a primordial atom, and the polarity of God changed. So, the energy, the male energy of God, right, changed polarity so it could coagulate to a neutronic point to explode with seeds through a blind side, an orgasmic affair, one more positive than all negativity of it, to the good truth of the reality check of all creation of existence being created through the neutrons of it, negatively, perversely. And the reality check is this, is when the energy, the force of all God, truth reality check of all reality check I am of an atom man, changed polarity. Well, the energy of it was negative at that point to the absolute positive good God and truth of it. But God as truth, anything more positive, is bigger and better than all negativity to the reality check of it. So God as truth knew through this neutronic state, he could become more than energy through the good truth of the reality of Pistis Sophia, splitting as the primordial atom she was, and through this neutronic state becoming so condensed with energy, all creation of existence split, right, as a backfire. See, because once this energy come to a neutronic state of all creation of existence, the desire of Pistis Sophia, right, became a deficiency of her, okay, meaning she had no knowledge that God as truth, the absolute bigger and better than all negativity, had overwhelmed her. And that desire was just a negative of it. And through the reality of God as truth of the energy of the heavenly man, the thieving Holy Spirit, God, King of all I am, caused her to explode through an orgasmic affair, again, overwhelming the negative energy of her absolutely positively, to produce out the two energies, the male and female positive energies, equal in parts to the good God and truth of the Adam man first evolved the triple male of all I am. And this is how it happened. As these energies, right, through the backfire, right, came to the polarities they were going to be, right, all the positive energy of creation of existence came to the point of the neutron, or it came to the point of the proton, and all the negative, static, twisted, scattered, undefined energy of existence came to the nothing matter of a neutron. Okay? And I call it a nothing matter of a neutron because without the proton overwhelming the neutron, right? The neutron's always in a state of negativity on the outside of an atom, right? In a state of decay and disintegration to one neutral nothing. Just negative of it here and now, back to energy in the wind, okay? But because the proton only adds up good as truth, bigger and better, and a neutron's energy only adds up to the bigger and better one neutral nothing, just negative of it here and now, the proton was able to overwhelm the neutron at this point, and the first sustainable atoms of the good God and truth, the reality check of Jesus Christ, of all I am, was created. Okay? And even though they were created more stable than unstable, okay, like Pistis Sophia, to the reality check of their proton base, the more they existed to the bigger and better of the electronegativity of existence, the more the proton base built, and they became the elemental matters of all existence for the reality check of what they were going to become. And as all existence came and settled, and the inertia of it had come back more positive and good to the truth of the shape, forms, and masses of neutronic matter, to the reality check of the earth, there was an ape species, an ape-like species that inhabited the earth, right? And at this point, life had took hold and was thriving more positive than negative, good as truth. And the heavenly man, the thieving Holy Spirit, male energy of the good God and truth of all I am, incarnated this A species. And because the A species was more animal than man, right, it caused a lot of them with energy to become so intelligent they just destroyed themselves, right? They were intelligently destructive with the energy of it. But one of them made it up to the cavern of woe. And through an orgasmic affair of the incarnate energy of all I am, bringing her to a more higher state of being, to the reality check of her shape, form, and mass, she became a woman. And the first pre-Adamite male of all I am was created through that orgasmic affair. And all that was left of her that bred with the pre-Adamite male of all I am became the God Kings that built the pyramid scheme around the earth that was a true reflection of the energy of the Son of God, the one God, the true reflection at every point of time and space of the God King, Adam man first evolved, the triple mill of all I am. And all else, right, only crossed less than of a man and more inferior from the mind out to the body. And they are the Shaiva lineage of the faith of the world that is left of them. Meaning, because they did not know to only cross all they were, back one more positive when they felt all negativity, to only add up good as truth, the absolute bigger and better than all negativity, till it subtracts to one neutral nothing, right? They couldn't articulate it. All they could articulate to the reality check of them was the good and bad of them. And anything bad is no good as truth, so they never brought anything absolutely negative back one more positive to be good as truth, to the bigger and better of all they were of reality check. And because of that, they instead of being cooperative, they were competitive. Instead of being givers, they were hoarders of resources. Instead of being manly, they were more animalistic to the reality check of their lives. And as the God Kings got more enlightened, they stopped dying, okay? And that's why they were called the men of old, because they lived eons and eons and eons. But because these monkey people, right, did die, they also bred like animals too. They would have litters, and the earth became overwhelmed by the negative charge of it, and they overthrew the God Kings, okay? And the Book of Gleaming says that there was 2 tribes, and the one knew when the Enlightenment left them, because it was the reality check of how their women was being treated, and the earth being in chaos all the way up until the second destruction, which was the flood. And also, if Adam would have knew to cross Eve back one more positive, then all negativity, we'd all only be good as truth to the absolute bigger, better reality check of the example and life of Jesus Christ, one who only crossed all negativity by example, only good as truth, right? Adding up bigger and better than all the faithful negativity of it, until all of it subtracts to one neutral nothing. The thieving Holy Spirit of the God King Adam man first evolved the triple male of all I am, of the God of Allah of all for everlasting peace, that never ever dies negative to one neutral nothing, the absolute positive good God and truth of a life that never dies negative to one nothing dust to wind at the beginning end. And I'll explain. The state of one more positive from the inside out is the only light, joy, warmth, good God or truth, Holy Spirit for everlasting peace, all will ever know or be. It's the state that all in body and matter is stated good to the truth of God of their shape, form, and mass, by the physics and laws of all known energy of reality, only crossing bigger and better than all negativity. The only suffering, death, decay, disintegration, and bad way, man up, steal your lives back from all faithful negativity. The absolute bigger and better than all in reality check. Listen to me. Every time you cross negative with negativity, okay, it's like Pista Sophia. She did not know that the positive energy of God, the good God and truth of the thieving Holy Spirit of all I am, right, was overwhelming her to an orgasmic affair to make the bigger and better of all God truth reality check. So she thought that she could copulate with herself blindly, like she could hide herself from the energy of God, the bigger, better energy of her negative matter than all I am, right? And she thought she could cross negative with this negativity, right, to an inferior desire. But that inferior desire is always the devil of you. Every time you cross negative with negativity, right, it is the devil of you. And through the neutrons of you, you perversely cause the inside out of you to become a Shiva shaft of reality check on you. Because these neutrons are not neutral, and they are only stabilized by the higher energy of you being more positive and good to the truth of your shape, form, and mass, only crossing bigger and better. And when you're not, they are in a state of flux with radioactive decay and disintegration. And they are mutating you from the inside out with this negative matter to the good truth of your life, only crossing to the bigger and better of negative to one neutral nothing of only more positive and good as truth, the absolute bigger, better life and miracle of paradise, right? All atoms, creation applied one to the here and now existence of all reality check, only cross and bond. One more positive with 2 or more Christ-like, with the good God and truth of the thieving Holy Spirit, the positive energy, the no higher up male energy of all I am, to make the good God and truth of every shape, form, and mass you could think of, not to exclude every dimension of time and space you can think of, and every shape, form, and mass of God you can think of, the God of Allah of all for everlasting peace, the good God and truth of the life of Jesus Christ, the absolute positive bigger, better energy of the thieving Holy Spirit out of all, God, truth, reality check, I am. And that is a fact check from the full thief man, God King, Adam man first evolved, the triple male of all, I am. Peace.